Hello everyone, welcome to the series on famous villains in the plays of William Shakespeare. And in this video, we are going to discuss the character of Shylock from his play The Merchant of Venice. Introduction. Shylock, the Jewish moneylender in William Shakespeare's The Merchant of Venice, is one of play's most complex and controversial characters. Portrayed as both a villain and a victim, Shylock embodies themes of revenge, justice, and mercy, while also highlighting issues of anti-Semitism and religious intolerance. This video delves into the various dimensions of Shylock's character, examining his motivations, his interactions with other characters, and his thematic significance, supported by relevant quotes from the play. Motivations and background. Shylock's actions are driven by a mixture of personal and cultural motivations. He is depicted as a man who has been deeply wronged by the Christian society in which he lives, experiencing prejudice and discrimination. This background fuels his desire for revenge against Antonio, who has publicly insulted and mistreated him. In Act 1, Scene 3, Shylock expresses his animosity towards Antonio. "How like a fawning publican he looks! I hate him for he is a Christian, but more for that in low simplicity. He lends out money gratis and brings down the rate of usance here with us in Venice." This quote reveals Shylock's hatred for Antonio, not only because he is a Christian, but also because Antonio's lending practices undermine Shylock's business. Desire for revenge. Shylock's desire for revenge is a central aspect of his character. The bond he makes with Antonio, demanding a pound of flesh as a collateral for a loan, is a manifestation of his deep-seated desire. Shylock's insistence on this gruesome penalty reflects his longing to assert power over those who have oppressed him. In Act 3, Scene 1, Shylock famously declares his intention to exact revenge. "If it will feed nothing else, it will feed my revenge. He hath disgraced me, and hindered me 500,000, laughed at my losses, mocked at my gains, scorned my nation, thwarted my bargains, cooled my friends, heated my enemies, and what's his reason? I am a Jew." This speech highlights the personal and communal wrongs Shylock has endured, justifying his pursuit of revenge as a form of retribution. Complexity and humanity. Despite his vengeful nature, Shylock is portrayed with a significant degree of humanity and complexity. His famous speech, "Hath not a Jew eyes," in Act 3, Scene 1, underscores his shared humanity with the Christian characters, challenging the audience's perceptions and eliciting sympathy. "Hath not Jew eyes? Hath not a Jew hands, organs, dimensions, senses, affections, passions? Fed with the same food, hurt with same weapons, subject to the same diseases, healed by the same means, warmed and cooled by the same winter and summer as a Christian is? If you pick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge?" This monologue emphasizes that Shylock's desire for revenge is rooted in the same human emotions experienced by all people, thereby humanizing him and highlighting the shared capacity for both suffering and vengeance. Relationships with other characters. Shylock's relationships with other characters in the play further illustrate his complexity. His relationship with his daughter Jessica is particularly poignant. Jessica's elopement with Lorenzo and her conversion to Christianity represent a deep personal betrayal for Shylock, intensifying his isolation and bitterness. In Act 2, Scene 5, Shylock's concern for his daughter's welfare is evident, even as he expresses his distrust. "Lock up my doors, and when you hear the drum and the wild squealing of the wry-necked fife, clamber not you up to the casements then, nor thrust your head into the public street, to gaze on Christian fools with varnished faces." Shylock's protective instincts towards Jessica are overshadowed by his deep-seated mistrust and resentment towards Christian society. The trial and its consequences. The trial scene in Act 4 is pivotal in understanding Shylock's character. His insistence on the pound of flesh, despite offers of monetary compensation, reveals his inflexible pursuit of justice, or rather revenge. However, this pursuit leads to his downfall as Portia, disguised as a lawyer, turns the legal argument against him, ultimately stripping Shylock of his wealth and forcing him to convert to Christianity. In Act 4, Scene 1, Shylock's rigid adherence to the bond's terms is evident. "The pound of flesh, which I demand of him, is dearly bought, 'tis mine, and I will have it." Shylock's defeat and forced conversion are tragic, highlighting the play's themes of mercy and justice. While Shylock is depicted as a villain, his final punishment evokes a sense of pity, emphasizing the harshness of the societal and legal retribution he faces. Thematic significance. Shylock's character serves as a focal point for several of the play's themes, including justice, mercy, revenge, and religious intolerance. His demand for a pound of flesh as justice starkly contrasts with the Christian concept of mercy advocated by Portia. The resolution of Shylock's storyline forces the audience to grapple with the ethical implications of revenge and the consequences of religious and racial discrimination. In Act 4, Scene 1, Portia's speech on mercy highlights the thematic conflict. "The quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives and him that takes." This speech juxtaposes Shylock's rigid interpretation of justice with the Christian virtue of mercy, underscoring the play's moral and ethical tensions. Conclusion. Shylock in Merchant of Venice is a character of profound complexity, embodying the themes of revenge, justice, and religious intolerance. His motivations are deeply rooted in personal and cultural grievances, and his actions are driven by a desire for retribution against a society that has wronged him. Despite his vengeful nature, Shylock's humanity is evident, eliciting both sympathy and condemnation from the audience. Through Shylock, Shakespeare explores the multifaceted nature of human emotions and the ethical dilemmas inherent in the pursuit of justice and revenge. So this was the discussion on the character of Shylock from Shakespeare's play, The Merchant of Venice. We will meet in the next video and discuss some other character. Until then, goodbye and thank you.